Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to VHS. I'm your host, Jesse. Today we are ranking the films of David Lynch. Let's get some work done. David Lynch. Oh boy. I want to take a moment to thank the universe for David Lynch here. He's not my favorite filmmaker by any stretch, but can you imagine what a dull film landscape we'd be living with if it weren't for his influence? How many times have you been watching a movie when something weird or surreal happens on screen, and just before you can think it to yourself, your buddy leans over and whispers, "They're doing David Lynch." But how is a casual moviegoer to know where to start? What movies do you need to see and which might you avoid? Well, let's find out. Okay, we're starting off with an absolute banger. Blue Velvet is easily one of the best films David Lynch has ever made, one of the most complete ideas and productions and just follow-throughs all the way from design to concept. It's scary in the ways David Lynch movies can be scary, without being actual horror movies. The world is bizarre and compelling, and it reflects the world that we actually live in. So there's so much that we relate to in watching this sort of horror mirror image of a small town and the seediness and the evil that's creeping just underneath, that we can kind of all relate to that paranoid feeling. Now, a little footnote here. I would point out that Blue Velvet is heavily inspired by my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie of all time, 1943's Shadow of a Doubt with Teresa Wright and Joseph Cotten. You got to check it out. I'm probably putting a little clip right here. It's all black and white. Oh, so good. Hume Cronin's in it. Is that Hume Cronin? Do I have a clip of Hume Cronin? Maybe not. But anyway, Blue Velvet, incredible, absolute must-see. Wild at Heart. You know, just in case people think I'm biased and I'm really just trying to throw my opinions at you, I want to let you to know that this is a must-see for me personally. But I understand that even in the limited oeuvre of David Lynch, this is a we get it. If you want a deep dive, if you watch Blue Velvet and you are so hungry for more that even I don't want to hang out with you anymore, get into Wild at Heart. You won't believe how harrowing and surreal the world of this is. And I've talked about this before. I don't know if this video has come out yet, but in the True Romance Hollywood Holdup, I will talk about Sailor and Lula here. They are an incredible on-screen pair played by Laura Dern and Nick Cage. And the movie is just too much for most people to handle. I'm not kidding. It is just too much. So we get it, but man, I love it, and I love that it exists. Dune. David Lynch's Dune. This is not a nope. I think a lot of people just shit on this. And listen, the Denis Villeneuve Part 1 is incredible. It's the Dune movie that Dune fans have actually been waiting for, to see what it would be like to just best really represent the entire scope and breadth of those novels. Really, the first one broken up, but it's that big, it almost feels like 4 novels. It's huge. But man, Lynch's Dune doesn't get enough credit for being the big swing that it was. It really was inappropriate for them to try to tackle the visual effects required to really faithfully adapt Dune to screen. Damn, it's just not great. But there's bits in it that are fantastic, and if you love the dreamy, surreal nature of Lynch films, man, it permeates this stuff, and it just makes you understand that just because it's a Christ tale, sci-fi, epic, Star Wars level, huge to do, it can still be surreal and weird. It doesn't have to be by the numbers Marvel made, you know what I mean? So there you go, Dune, incredible. Eraserhead is a we get it. Here, I'm gonna do it like this. You don't need to see Eraserhead. Okay? But you can actually get a lot out of Eraserhead, especially just learning what formative Lynch looked like when he's basically making his student film, his grad school, age film, black and white. It's all about the sound. When you get into this, you'll be like, oh yes, that's right. All the Lynch movies I watch, he does all this industrial noise and it's all in Blue Velvet. It's all over the place. Eraserhead is an industrial noise, just incredible cacophony of design that, works. It's tense. It's super tense. It's a bizarre story that has like puppetry in it. That's is bizarre. We get it. If you're going to be a completist, go for it. I'm not noping Eraserhead. Inland Empire. Okay, great. There's a nope. I'll nope Inland Empire. I'll go ahead and nope Inland Empire. You can get mad at me in the comments. I'm begging you to get mad at me in the comments. Inland Empire is three or four short films that David Lynch made. I don't know if they even aired or were broadcast or distributed to film festivals or anything. I had no idea what these were until they all appeared inside of Inland Empire, sort of loosely tied together, not really having anything to do with each other. There's people in rabbit costumes. And, it's a nope for me because this is essentially, what it felt like? You get to the end of this thing and you're like, this is like buying a bunch of Picasso's sort of loose leaf sketches. Like, yeah, he made these too. As a film, it's a nope for me. There aren't enough experiences in it to me to make it worth it. If you're going to be a completist, you're not listening to what I say anyway. So yeah, no. Lost Highway. Lost Highway is a we get it that I honestly am putting behind Dune. This is sort of a new era of filmmaking for Lynch when he gets here. This is a post-Twin Peaks era where, Mulholland Drive sort of follows this sort of neo-noir style, and it's very cool. It's very mysterious. I will completely cop to, in the 3 viewings I've had of Lost Highway, still not fully getting it. I understand one guy becomes the other guy. He's in the cell, he's not in the cell. Bill Pullman. I get it. We get it. But it didn't ever connect for me in the times that I tried to live with it in the way our next film really, really did. Mulholland Drive. Let's not be silly, Jesse. Mulholland Drive. This is a must-see. And I will do a direct comparison of Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive in my argument for why this is a must-see film. I got there with Mulholland Drive. I watched it enough times, and by the way, it's so compelling, I wanted to keep watching it. The mystery of it pulled me in more. I got through it once, I looked at my friends, and we all went, what? And then we watched it again, and then this came out while I'm in film school, by the way, so obviously we just debated this stuff endlessly, and I ended up loving it so much. And Lynch even knew, I think Lynch really knew, that people need a little extra push to get how much they wanted to connect with this movie. The DVD that they put out with it, if you remember, Lynch was like anti-DVD. He wanted you to go see things in the theaters only, super anti-phone or watch movie, forget that stuff. But he didn't even want chapters in his DVDs. Do you remember this? You would get a DVD of a Lynch movie and you'd have to watch it all the way through or fast forward it because he said, you're not allowed to jump into the middle of the movie. That's a really good Lynch impression, by the way. But what he did do, and I have to assume that David Lynch had enough control over this stuff, that this was not some marketing department just going ham. They had an insert that came with a DVD that had like 3 or 4 clues. Not chapters, not answers, just kind of things to look at while you were watching the movie. And with those little pieces, the movie kind of unfolded for myself and my film school friends. And it became such an amazing and compelling treatise on the nature of dreams and fantasy and surreality, the difference between what we see and feel in our dreams and what we see in the real world, which is also a bizarre place. I can't say enough about Mulholland Drive. It's the comeback kid of the Lynch movies for me. Absolutely incredible. Must see. The Elephant Man is a classic must see. This is a great movie. This is a great drama. It's very sad, incredibly well acted. Black and white early stuff, gorgeous photography. You're going to really love that. I think you're going to have to put up with the pacing a little bit. It's definitely a little more straight on filmmaking than Lynch gets into later on. But you cannot deny The Elephant Man. That's just a staple. It's an actual classic that can exist in film history outside of Lynch. It doesn't even have to be Lynch's The Elephant Man. It's that good on its own. You must see The Elephant Man. It's incredible. Bring your tissues. Bring your tissues. The Straight Story. I just watched this morning because it's the only Lynch movie I haven't seen. And it's going right on top of my must-see list. Right at the end of the must-see. It's not going to jump over any of those classics. But my lord, how great was The Straight Story? First of all, incredible performances, Farnsworth, Sissy Spacek. You get to see some of the regulars pop in, throughout the course of the journey. This is David Lynch's Odyssey. This is the Odyssey. And what's amazing is When like an average filmmaker, and I don't mean average, good, bad average, I just mean kind of normie, making normie mainstream movies. When they kind of get weird and make their Odyssey movie, they kind of sometimes like go too crazy. And you're like, yeah, the Odyssey was weird, but you're just trying to be weird. Well, the Straight Story, in what I consider to be an incredibly punk rock move, goes the other way. It is the most basic and straight-ahead narratives in Lynch's entire career. And because of that, it ends up connecting with you emotionally on a level that was deeper and more universal than anything I'd experienced with Lynch. And on top of that, the score by Angelo Badalamenti is maybe my favorite of any Lynch movie, and I love all of the super synthy 80s stuff. I love that stuff. I'm a Vangelis guy. I'm a Tangerine Dream guy. I'm into all that. But the almost Appalachian Americana vibe in the score that just keeps playing over Farnsworth's journey, I can't say enough. Really incredible. All ages can sit through it. It's truly beautiful. The Straight Story. You got to see it. Finally, this is a conditional must-see. You like Twin Peaks? You guys see Twin Peaks? We'll do a whole other thing on Twin Peaks at some point when VHS gets more into TV. Man, I love Twin Peaks. It is a monumental achievement, even for all of its weaknesses and trappings and stuff. It misses the mark a lot, especially in season 2, you know what I mean? But this movie, Fire Walk with Me, this is, Craig, get ready for the bleep, f***ing scary. This is a f***ing horror movie. And I first saw it by myself in my dorm room in college, and I literally stopped. My lights were on. I had to stop and go out into the common room and play video games with my roommates. Bob, at the end of the bed. If you know, you know. This is a horrifying movie. And, you know, for the most part, if you never saw Twin Peaks, you can watch this. You can watch this and you'll get it. It is kind of a recap. It's weirdly almost aligned more with like an anime TV series, and then they do a movie that kind of covers some stuff and is kind of a different take on the same material. Man alive. If you are wanting to get to Twin Peaks, or you've seen the show and just never got around to the movie, you must see it. You must see it. It is really rough in the best ways possible. Well, there you have it. It's a short list, but boy, it's an impactful one, right? Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, that's on me. You're going to love it. Just really get into it like a bath. You got to slowly get in. The Elephant Man, that's an undeniable classic. The Straight Story shot right up into my heart, and it will live there forever. And Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, if you know, you know. And you are screaming right now going, how have people not seen Fire Walk with Me? It's going to mess you up. Really good stuff. Wild at Heart, I would love for y'all to go see Wild at Heart if you haven't. And tell me, like, I survived it, I'm okay. I called my parents. I don't really want to go outside anymore, but it happened. Dune. Denis Villeneuve's Part 2 is coming out this spring, guys. 2024. Go back. Get into Dune. Get it all. Love Dune. But we get it. Lost Highway, Eraserhead, those are all discussions to be had, guys. I'm not mad if you skip Inland Empire. I would love for you to spend some of your life trying to convince me to give it a higher rating. Well, we'll see if you do that. I'll be here ranking movies and talking about them and talking to you. Hope you come back and see us next time. We live here. Only on VHS. Take them home, Craig.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, and please like and subscribe. Check out more of our videos. Leave a comment. Or don't. You do you.